Well, I've decided to get on that Learjet again, that crappy one that keeps crashing in the ocean. I'm going to have another series at Stranded Deep. They've made a few very good changes, despite the fact that I love the game anyway. I thought I'd better leave it for a bit, and now I'm really looking forward to this next series. So I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully you'll leave me some comments below. Cheers. Well, after that crash, I better get ashore because, oh, shipwreck. I'll have a look in there in a bit, because I've got a funny feeling I'm going to be here a while before I get rescued. A long, long while. Right, which way's north? Which way's the sun going? Right, okay, it's going that way. So that would make that north. Let's have a look round. Okay, there's food. There is 2 types of food. There's crabs, potatoes, quite a bit of sticks. Coconut, got a drink. Now if I press the F key, that opens up. And if you press the left mouse button, you can monitor your stats. You've got health, hunger, thirst, and tiredness. Now when I first started playing this, they didn't have tiredness involved, and that's one of the key aspects of survival. You are able to, well, in order, let's do it in order. First of all, you need oxygen, which is a bit of a no-brainer really, but you don't last so long without that. Then you need water, and you can probably, in this sort of scenario, you know, hot sun, desert or island, anywhere where you've got an extensive exposure to heat, you can last probably 3 days. Oh, more types of food. 3 days without water. You can bucket, I'll have that. You can also, in fact, let me see what their inventory is. Oh, hello. Haven't seen them before. They must have been in the new patch. Didn't check the notes, so that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Anyway, you can last 3 days with water. You can last probably, if you drink just water. Sorry, I'll start again. A minute or two without oxygen. 3, possibly 4 days without water, but on the 4th day it's likely that you're going to have irreversible damage to your internal organs. You then got about 7 or 8 days without sleep before you're looking at a fatal turn of events. And finally, despite what you read, it's not 40 days, it's probably about 2-3 weeks without food. Excuse me. Providing you've got water, obviously, because if you don't have the water, then you've got yeah, if you don't have the water, then you'd be dead anyway. You don't really need a great deal of food. If you're slightly unfit, let's say, then there is also a chance that the contents already, oh, another type of fruit, the contents of your body system might give you a little bit longer, because there might be a little bit more in your stores to use. Anyway, oops, I've got a lighter, so you don't have a knife anymore. Let's just start with a knife. Now this island doesn't appear to be that big. That island looks a lot bigger. It also looks a lot flatter, which means there's more chance of getting a bigger property, a bigger help sign, fires dotted around the island, so if anything does fly overhead, for example, because let's face it, my plane came down around here, so there's got to be something that goes over this way. I can get the fires lit and get rescued. Now I don't know what the developers' plans are for the game, but as long as I don't die, which should be quite easy to avoid, as long as I don't get eaten by a shark, I'm going to try and survive until they put a rescue patch in. Anyway, okay, let's get everything up. Tarpaulin, brilliant. Oh, hello. Right, I've got tarpaulin, got a bucket, so immediately we can make, I say immediately, when we land on the other island, we're going to have a look over there, we can make a water collector, we can make a, what is there, what else was there? There was another thing as well, a G collector I think it was. Yeah, we can make a G collector, which is going to be handy. Something tells me it's going to be hot. Well, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to strip out this of everything that I can carry without the need of making a cutting tool. Oh, another one. And then I'm going to unempty it all up on that big island, because I need a bigger island than this. And I'm going to come back, and I'm going to try and just keep going backwards and forwards. I've got to set up a little tiny. Oh, another tarpaulin. Brilliant. Right, now I can make a water still and a water collector. That still's not really well, I can't make a still actually because I need another bucket. Yeah, that water still isn't really this sort of still really, it's another collector. A still would be a hole in the ground with a bucket of seawater in, and then the bucket of seawater is placed on top of the tarpaulin, and then another tarpaulin is added, and the bucket is placed to one side, so when you cover the pit or hole or whatever you want to call it again with a second tarpaulin, and you put a stone in the centre, the heat that is generated, right, okay, already thirsty, the heat that's generated from the sun evaporates the seawater, but because of course the moisture is trapped inside, the seawater, well, the fresh water from the seawater evaporates, hits the top, rolls down to where the rock is, and then the rock acts as a point of sort of departure from the tarpaulin or the sheet of plastic or whatever you use into another container, so another bucket for example, and there's your fresh water, and that's actually known as a solar still. How do I know this? You probably aren't asking. Well, for 15 years I had a very, very good friend who was an ex-marine, and I spent lots of time playing soldiers with him. Learnt a few tricks, and I'll probably let a few out while I'm doing this, whilst I'm surviving. People, the one thing I found about humans, and I'm guilty of it also, is that they doubt, or many of us doubt, what we're capable of. But with a little bit of thought, you know, it could be scientific thought, it could be anything, a little bit of thought, you can accomplish a lot. Now, give you another example. You're trapped, you may not have the sun causing you problems, for example, but you may well have a lack of clean water and a lack of, let's say you haven't got a bucket. I'm lucky, I found one on here, so we'll be alright for a water collector as long as it rains. Yeah, so you've got no bucket, you've got no clean water, but you've got clothes, and it rains, and all the water goes onto, let's say, of course if you've got a rainy area it's dirty, you're going to have more grass, aren't you? So you put some clothing around your legs, keep your jeans on, put anything around your legs that's fabric, and you just walk through it, walk through the wet grass. Then when you feel your clothes getting soaked, if you've got something wrapped around your legs, take that off, find a container. It can just be a dip in a rock, you know, it could be anything. Oh, another bucket, brilliant. It could be, let's have a look, it could be a little cavity like that. Squeeze your clothing out into that fresh water. Might possibly taste of, depending on how newly crashed your plane is, it might possibly taste of washing powder, but it doesn't matter, does it? You've got water, and you keep doing that until you've drank and drank and drank. Right, okay, it's getting dark, which means I am going to struggle now to see anything other than what's on the sand. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in my little boat, and I'm going to make my way. Right, hang on a minute. Is it there? Is it there, or is it there? I can't remember where it was. There's a bigger island, there's one there. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go that way. I'll leave him. Right, come on, let's have a look over here. I'll get out. Alright, we're going. Are we going? No, still not on the sea. Right, we're going. Okay, this is effectively an easterly direction, and I'm going to skip this until we get there. So, see you in a second. Right, we've arrived. It does look a much bigger island, and also there's a container over there. You won't be able to see it fully rendered because, well, I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. But I dragged that ashore. There's where I've first found. I've stripped that pretty much of what's on the beach. Now it's much bigger. And there is corrugated scrap. That's good. Can use that. Use that. Excuse me. There looks to be quite a sizable island. Now I'll have a quick scout around in more scrap. Quick scout round, see if there's any crabs. Because on the other island we had potatoes, crabs, coconuts, cura fruit. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. And the other one beginning with, look at this queue again actually. Alright, looks like it's 2 bars down on first, nothing on hunger yet, which is good, more realistic. I may be slightly wrong, my memory isn't as good as it should be, but I do believe that when I first started playing this, the food, sleep, in fact the sleep wasn't there, but the food and the drink ratio was pretty wrong, because it had the water not going down as fast as the food. Oh, another tarpaulin. Right, okay, we can now make a water still, a water collector, and I think we can make a smoker so I can get a store of fish together. Right, loads of driftwood as well. Hit that 10 times with an axe and you'll get excuse me, 4 logs, driftwood logs. More corrugated scrap. This is really good. Alright, have a quick scout round. Get a stem head in now. That I've got to find something else to hold. Alright, more driftwood. Oh no, wood stick. Alright. So it would be nice. Another bucket. But that's probably been a bit greedy since I've picked up 2 already. Okay. More potatoes. Now what I do have to find out is, do these grow back? Because the earlier ones they did, but they grew back quite... Okay, I'm full of stuff now. They grew back quite quickly. Yucca, so we've got lashings. Fruit trees perhaps? Is it fruit trees? They look like him. Alright. Oh, hang on. Yep, fruit tree. Is there anything on this one? Oh, yep, another fruit tree, brilliant. Another lashings, lots of driftwood. Right, a raised area. Oh, that's just quite a handy area to have a house. It's high. It's got a good view over everywhere. I'm going to try and keep this going as long as I can without it becoming boring. There's another patch released yesterday, I believe, and that improved things like clouds and graphics and rain and lighting and stuff like that. I'm hoping, really hoping, that the whole game centres or creates a survive till you're rescued aspect. Or, and you've got to do certain things to be rescued, of course, like put a SOS down on the sand or fire points. Or bad weather, massive waves that come and smash your base up. Base, listen to me. Come and smash your camp up. Or, which would be really, really good, is the possibility of, say, pirates. I know it sounds a bit childish, but I know we're in the South Pacific as well, but who knows? Another tarpaulin. Who knows what's floating around in the seas? We hardly know anything about the sea, and yet we, you know, we sort of sit there. Probably goes back to what I was touched on earlier. As humans, we don't really. Oh crikey! Well, you can't interact with them yet, but that looks brilliant. Turn that off. Alright, go away. You don't... You kind of... not hide, but... Oh, I can't put something down there. The noise will keep me awake. Yeah, we don't know anything about the ocean. We know about 3 or 4% of it. Right, hungry and thirsty now. Okay, what I have to do now is decide where I'm going to put my setup. Which way are you going? That's west. I'm going to leave it there, and when we come back I'm going to set down the area I'm going to live and start building. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.